We're on a journey to make a little over $200,000 by January to buy a massive new field. Yes, I know it's only 6 months away. And yes, I know we're in hard mode with reduced prices on what's still a relatively small farm. But will that stop us? I think not. We're in the process of selling off our silage, so we'll start this cash-building episode off to a great start. These bales should bring our bank account up to around $65,000, which sounds like a lot, but it's still $140,000 short of the goal. So yeah, it's not going to be easy. The farmer's market right around the corner is giving us the best price. We'll get these loaded and sold and see where we are. $68,000. Impressive. I'd hoped we'd leave the rainy weather behind in the last episode, but it's apparently carried forth for just a bit longer, and we're running short on chores we can do in the rain before we harvest our oats. There are a couple things left though, and one of those is the wrapping. We just sold a whole harvest worth of silage, so the best thing to do is immediately make some more. The John Deere serves a lot of functions on the farm. However, it's been mostly relegated to front loader work here on the farm with almost 95 hours of runtime. This little dance of the silage and wrapper has become pretty efficient over time. So let's get everything wrapped and become the silage log envy of all our neighbors. There we go, all wrapped, and they'll be ready for sale in early October. Let's put the wrapper away as the rain continues to come down and do one more chore on the fields, the rolling. In the last couple episodes, I went through an exercise of repairing all our grass working equipment to full health, which included the baler, 2 mowers, and the roller. In every case, the equipment moved faster across the field, which will save us time and wear and tear on the tractor and fuel. Everything did seem to go a little quicker with it all repaired, which means this rolling will be able to finish in no time. As we come down the final stretch, it looks like it's stopped raining, which means we can move right on to the next major task and what every farmer looks forward to, the harvest. We'll slide the roller into its designated shed position and fire up the mighty Massey Ferguson. I want to collect the straw in a swath so we can pick it up and sell it, but I'll do one small bit here, throwing out the minced up bits of straw onto the field for data collection purposes, and we'll take a look at that after we're all done. The liters of oats per acre is a little less than that of wheat or barley, so the small trailer will still be plenty good for carting off our hoppers of gold. Less liters doesn't necessarily mean less money, because oats sell for a little more. But I may not even sell the oats. There's a very good chance I'll run these oats through one of the productions and increase their value. It just all depends on whether our production puts our $200,000 plus goal in jeopardy. The new big field is the priority. Time to convert the trailer to help keep those big harvest wheels turning and bring in our bountiful harvest. This field is currently our highest yielding field on the farm. This is our first load of oats for the silo, and we'll probably only have to make 2 more trips. I know I've said it before, but this small trailer has done way more than I ever thought it would way back when we first bought it. I hadn't really thought it out, but if you'd asked me how long we'd be using this trailer, I'd probably have said somewhere between episode 5 and 10. And here we are at episode 39, and it's still going strong and not holding us back in any way. If you're starting out this game and are wondering if this tiny trailer is worth it, then don't be afraid to get it. The EDK650 will serve you well. Okay, the harvest is still going because I've hired a worker to continue running the combine while I go fetch the baler and start picking up the straw. We can't afford to burn a lot of money on hired hands, but a worker every now and then will help us get things done a little quicker, which will help us make our money and get our new field quicker. And I'm excited about this next purchase. It's double the size of our largest field and starts to put us in a new strata of farming where we'll need a bigger tractor, bigger equipment, and be able to support larger scale productions. So this revenue goal and the new field is the next big step for the farm. Let's finish the field and move on one step closer. All right, that's the last of the grain into the silo for a total of 19,000 liters of oats. Not bad at all. We can put the combine away. Sadly, it's the last time we'll need it this season, and get the auto stacker to move the straw bales off the field. Between these bales and the others down at the lower field, I think we've got about $13,000 in straw, which will be a welcome addition to the account in January. Now, it's time for something brand new. We're planting oilseed radish. This is a cover crop that only requires 1 month to grow. Next month, we can till it in and get our first application of fertilizer, organically. I had a viewer comment that they'd like to see it in the series, and this is the perfect situation to do it. We have to plant our canola next month in August, so the 1 month turnaround is just what we need.
Just what we need. Just what we need.
Well then, let's get it done. Remember that one patch of chopped straw we put down? Well, you can see here that it gave the field the mulched yield bonus, which adds about 2.5% to the yield. You might be asking, then why didn't you mulch the whole thing? The answer is purely about revenue. I'll get more money off the baled straw than I would have gotten off the 2.5% yield bonus. If you're on an easier mode where money's just streaming in at 2 to 3 times the rate of our challenge, then yeah, you might decide the straw is not worth the effort and choose the easier path of just chopping it up for the bonus and being done with it. For us, we need the higher revenue, and we need some more seed and some granular fertilizer. This'll cost us a bit, but we need it, and it'll all get used. There's something very satisfying about getting farm supplies. Okay, that was a bit of a squeeze getting the fertilizer in place. Let's move on to August. This is going to be a good month where we plant our first canola crop. Before that though, let's take care of the goats with the bi-monthly watering run and make sure they're all cared for. I realized after building the new goat barn at the lower riverside pasture that I didn't explain one important factor. A viewer's question reminded me about it. The goat barn doesn't need to be filled with water from a tanker. The barn itself has plumbing which keeps the goats filled with all the water they need. Now, I like this idea of the bigger, more expensive barns not having to be supplied constantly with water, but I wish it was a little more natural. I wish they'd either had it so runoff from the roof of the barn fills some sort of cistern that may keep them well watered if you're getting regular rains, or might need some extra water from a tanker during a dry season. Another option might be to pay per foot of pipe laid down to some natural water source like the big river, or maybe over to the creek. If that choice allowed unlimited water, then I think I'd feel a little better about it. But at the same time, I'm not complaining. The way they have it now does save a lot of work. Okay, the watering's done. We've got the seed hopper filled with seed. Let's till under our oilseed radish and at the same time plant our canola. This rear attachment is a cultivator with an optional seeder attachment, so it should do both at the same time. Let's check. It's not doing anything. It should be. Let me try to figure out what's going on. Okay, it seems that when I have the seed hopper on, it treats the whole piece of machinery as a seeder and not a cultivator, even though it has shown that it can cultivate and seed at the same time. It's just not registering with the oilseed radish as a cultivator in that configuration. So it's plowing under the radish and not giving the fertilization bonus. I'll take that as a bug because in every other way, it performs as a cultivator and seeder. I'd be curious if any viewers have had the same thing happen with oilseed radish for the other direct drills in the game. I'd like to know if it's a common thing or just this piece of equipment. In any case, we need the fertilizer. So what we'll do is run over the field once to cultivate in the radish, then run over it again with the hopper on to do the cultivate and plant combo. It's not a big deal. A country boy can survive. All right, fantastic. Our first crop of canola is in, and that's a crop we'll hang on to for future production buildings. We'll end the month of August and move into an absolutely beautiful early September morning where we've got more harvesting to do, more planting, the goat milk will all be sold for a big revenue jump and more in the next episode. We're so far away from the 205,000, but I still think we can do it. See you next time.